Wanted today inside. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you doing? Najwa, it's been a minute. You know, even me, I didn't know it has passed 4 weeks. I thought it was just 2 weeks. But good morning, 247 Crushes. Good morning. How are you doing? Jackie Nana. Good morning. Good morning. Tell me how your morning is coming along. Tuesday iko vipi? Wiki zimekuaje? Tangu tuwachane. What's happening? What's happening? Please let me know. We are going to start as usual. Hata sijawaambia tuko wapi. This is the In All Honesty podcast that comes to you on our TBC radio every Monday morning from 7 to 9 a.m. right here on Instagram Live. Lakini jana kidogo nilikuwa nimechoka. So we said we're going to do it today. And now we are here. And we're talking about, we're catching up. We're catching up because it's been a couple of weeks and there's a lot that has been happening on the internet. And just when I thought, okay, let's catch up on 1, 2, 3 things. Yesterday, another bombshell joins the villa. Okay, we'll discuss all of it. But kama kawaida, we're going to start with traffic updates. In Nairobi yenu, kwanza Eldoret got traffic lights. Sivyo? And I saw it was mayhem. It was ilikuwa tu chaos. This happens to small towns. I don't know if you guys know this. Have you guys been to small towns? Unajua tu Nairobi pia. When something comes in, like I remember when the escalator came to Eldoret, that was a sight. And then now I've seen traffic lights. I wish I was there when they were putting traffic lights. But anyway, in Nairobi, let us look at the traffic. What's going on the roads? I usually feel like Tuesdays are actually crazier than Mondays, or maybe just everyone is avoiding Monday. Let me see. Wayaki Way looks pretty clean, except from there's a stretch hapo to Westlands that looks a bit ni kama kuna traffic hapo, but that's about it. Wayaki Way looks good. What other road am I supposed to look at? Ngong Road is clear all the way. If you're headed to wherever, I guess with Ngong Road uko tu sawa. Kama unatoka Kiserian, kama sijui unatoka, hata kama unatoka uko, where is that place where they Magadi. What do they have at Magadi? Oh, Magadi has Magadi. I almost said they mine salt. No, it's not there. Ama? Anyway, Thika Road. Now, what Thika Road walisema watahama. It doesn't look good. It's not looking cute on you at all. Uko past Kasarani, there's something happening there, but also the usual upper GSU. That stretch still has traffic. Thika Road is the only one that actually has traffic. And on all these roads. And lastly, not Kikuyu Road. The one usually people for work live where? Limuru Road. Yes. Limuru Road is very clear. Nothing on Limuru Road. So what was Thika? Tutawaombea. But try and muhame. Just try uhame. Because right now it's not looking good. But good morning. Tell me how your morning is coming along. And today we are just basically catching up on a couple of topics. We have, by the time nilitoka hivi, and then what happened? That SDA couple. But a lot of times things happen on TikTok, and I don't know if they spill over to other social media platforms. Now there was a TikTok couple that was embarrassing themselves. Yesterday, not yesterday, the day before yesterday, I ran not a poll per se, but I did ask a question on my Instagram stories, and I was like, do you think marriage is an humiliation ritual? Because the things people are going through in marriage is not looking cute at all. And to think you stood in front of witnesses and people and made your vows and said, till death do us part. Mimi, wacha nisipeane opinion yangu juu ya marriage, but I'm not anti-marriage, but I just feel like the idea of it all, the idea of call people to see us doing it, let us sign it on paper. I understand the essence of it if children are involved, because sometimes in the case of death or in the case of a deadbeat, then you can claim property, you can claim for your kids to be taken care of. But apart from that, I honestly don't see why people are rushing into weddings like this. And anyway, do you think marriage is a whatever? I had a lot of people who said it is not manipulation, humiliation ritual. And I don't know if men feel like this as well. Maybe it's just the women who are like, the embarrassment is embarrassing. But anyway, today we're just doing a little catch up. And I think for this particular episode, it will really highlight the emphasis of a service that I am offering. I do offer emotional intelligence coaching. And a lot of the situations that we're going to look at today, I am just like, you could have used an external eye here. You could have used an external eye to help you maneuver this situation. So if emotional intelligence coaching is something that you're interested in, it basically just helps. It's like a third eye outside the chaos. Do you know sometimes when you're very emotional in that moment, your thoughts are very clouded, and the things you do might not be very advisable, even for you as a person, even for your own security. So that is what I do. I help you like maneuver those particular situations. But also, I know that the misconception is that people think it's kill them with kindness. I'm showing you what to do. I'm showing you how to stay calm. What people don't understand about emotional intelligence coaching is that I teach you how to manipulate the situation. If you have a gaslighting, if you have a manipulative partner, yes, we match their gaslighting. You gaslight them back. You have a toxic workplace. You have a toxic manager. Hey, match their toxicity. So at the end of the day, and also how can you note some red flags before they turn pink, before you get pregnant, before you walk down the aisle? Those are things. So let's just, book an emotional intelligence coaching service so that we get through it. I'm going to do discovery calls. I'm going to set up discovery calls. So if you're interested, you can just DM me today. DM me and I'll book you for a discovery call. A discovery call is free. So that's just to analyze your situation and see where you're at and see if it's something that you'd want to book. Okay. But with that, Rejiachi, good morning. Unasema, hapo kwa marriage kila mtu akae kwao juu watu wengine wamekosa adabu. One of my responses yesterday was someone saying ati marriage is ile place watoto upelekwa watoto wadogo wenye wajoanza nursery is a child care. Inaitwa nini that thing where kids are taken daycare. Alisema marriage is daycare. And I can imagine, I agree with Reggie. It's daycare for badly behaved children without home training. Can you mama yako kukufunza adabu? In fact, no, let me not say the statement that's currently being used online. Yes, for 7 crushes, that's daycare. Marriage is a humiliation ritual because it's not looking cute. Now, today we are just doing a post-break catch-up because we've not been here for 4 weeks. I really didn't think it was 4 weeks. But anyway, we have a couple of things to catch up on. Sasa si tulianza na iyo tu nikitoka tu hivi nikienda break. An SDA couple. They said, let us come and embarrass ourselves here. So this SDA couple, they're called the Maingis. I don't know if this tea spilled over to other social media, platforms. But basically, they're called the Maingis, and they're this like sort of celebrity SDA couple. They started off as singing. It was the lady herself, the wife. She used to come over and then just sing along to SDA songs, the things we do on TikTok, yeah? And then the man joined her at some point. And now they just became this couple that is so cute. They are dressed up. I don't know whether it's Saturdays that they are dressed up and then they just sing along to those SDA songs. And it was a cute thing. I didn't even know that they went ahead and started, I don't know whether to call it a YouTube channel. Yes. They started a YouTube channel where they were discussing things. And now the video that went viral was a video of now this man. I don't know whether he's the Mr. Maingi because they're called the Maingis. Now this man was constantly just embarrassing this girl because he kept on doubling down on, you have bad breath. That's why I've not been kissing you. You should brush your teeth better. I've told you. It was just humiliation upon humiliation. And that is something that I wanted us to also just talk about. What is that? What is the need to come? What was the need to come and do it here? Because if someone's mouth is smelling, you can tell them personally. To wait for the time when it's rolling, when the cameras are rolling for you. And then if you look at the video, the more she got frustrated, the more he doubled down on it. The more he was like, I've not even... And then other things started being unearthed. Because of this viral video now, people are like, oh, now there's an episode where she says she paid her own dowry. And muniambia kwanza hii story ya dowry, because I saw Hannah Nunes. Hannah Nunes is also like a TikTok celebrity of sorts. She does commentary. And she was like, as much as we want to shame women who pay for their own dowry, but the men who pay for the dowry, the money is not theirs either. They usually go and changa from people and then they pay the dowry. But I'm just like, so long as haijachangwa kutoka kwangu, I don't know. Yes, that is fine. I don't care kama ulichanga, I don't care kama ulichukua loan, but I am still not. I feel like paying for your own dowry is usually a red flag. So let me know if you genuinely think that marriage is a humiliation ritual. And I know I saw a divided reaction when I asked that, because I saw people who I know are actively dating, I know are looking forward towards marriage, some are even engaged, and they were like, we know marriage is not looking cute right now, but we still want it. Like, it's not a bad thing. We've seen marriages that work. But what is this? What is this humiliation? Whatever we are seeing every other time with every other story. And before the dust settled on this one, okay, the dust had settled completely. But yesterday, then we got the Koku and Daddie Marto, update. And that one is so then it is so heart-wrenching. I saw it and I was just like, guy. And that is one of the things where I thought, okay, an external eye would be really good here, and not me per se as a coach. I just thought when Koku was going through all those things, I was just like, where are the friends? Where is someone who can hold her in this during this time? So yeah, I really want to know what your thoughts are on marriage and what we've seen it to be, especially in reference to the points that we're seeing, to the relationships that we're seeing online a lot of times. Now, I know there are successful marriages, but why is it that it's only the ones that fall apart that are very loud on social media? I would think even the good marriages we should see on social media. So it's very difficult to make a case for something that is not, we don't see every day, right? So I would really want to know what these good marriages, I know they exist. I really do. I know they exist. And I'm really pro-love. About marriage, kidogo sijui, I'm 50-50, but I'm really pro-love. Me, I love when people are in love and they are, yes, like they're building a family together. They have a vision to stay together. They really enjoy each other's company. They trust each other. I love love. But the marriage institution itself, or maybe we need to rebrand it. We need to revamp the whole institution and think about it. Regia Chi, you're saying, kwanza alijilipia mahari na huyo mwanaume ako na audacity ya kumwaibisha. Some men are spoons and deserve to be alone. Not even some, quite a number. But that is something we're also going to talk about when we're analyzing this situation. Also, that resentment builds from you taking care of your own things. I for the longest time when I was coming into feminism, I was fighting gender roles, but it got to a point where I was like, there are some gender roles we keep. The minute you are the woman and the main provider, the minute you pay for things like your own dowry, because dowry is very cultural in Africa. And literally the essence of a man paying dowry so that you can become their wife, it's rooted in strong African culture. So for you to take that up and pay dowry for yourself, ni kama umejioa. Do you realize that? Symbolically, umejioa. So I don't know what you think about that, but that's my idea. My idea is the minute you pay your own dowry, it's like when you go on a first date and you as the woman pay for the date. Yeah, it's going to be a problem. You'll spend on your man. This is the issue. Sometimes people think women don't spend on their men. Have you seen women in love? Money will be spent on you, just not at the beginning. The investment, it's you to make. The capital is for you. And then later on, you'll get, utapata marupurupu, hapa pale. So don't worry. But anyway, Olal Keith, you're saying, he marriage thing, haina formula. It really doesn't. But we also have to look at, should we rethink what marriage is? It's not looking cute. And let's not even look at the idea of marriages breaking. Let's look at it in terms of the person, the two people who made the vows, being outside, going outside of your home to sleep with other people. Sexual discipline is not a thing in marriage anymore. Just the cases of infidelity in itself shows so much disrespect to the institution. As the institution is set, I was assuming marriage is for monogamous people, right? So if we're going to go into this marriage where the two of us, even if it's polygamous, we've seen how polygamous families work, right? And even in polygamy, you and your 4 wives, I've never understood why outside these 4 wives, you're still going to get another side chick. Yani jamani. Ini tama ilioje. 247 Crochets, you're saying, I saw a street interview of a couple and the guy was asked what his fetish is. And he said, I'm into Asian women despite what I married. The wife is what? The wife is white. Hizi unaonanga sana. Hizi unaona sana. In fact, what prompted me to do that poll on social media, on my Instagram stories, was the podcasts, the couples going on podcasts. The Christian couples going on podcasts and being like, he didn't even like me in the beginning. I just said, I'm going to Vumilia. One day he'll see me for who I am. I'll bring value to him. The Lord says patience. I was seeing most of those and I was just like, dang. And sometimes when I say that, even emotional intelligence helps you to see these red flags while they're still pink, it's things like, if you are, let's say, let me give you an example. It's not practical, but let me give you an example. If you are a dark-skinned girl and you're talking to this man, everyone he seems to fancy is light skin. The ex-girlfriends he's had are light skin. When he talks about what's your celebrity crush? Utapata ni mtu kama Tyler. You are there, you are dark skin, you're bulky. And somehow you believe you are the exception. those are things you need to start picking up early. When someone says their type and you don't fit it, don't fight for it. I mean, love is not for fight. Here is not where you start fighting. Please reserve your energy. We are going to the streets on 25th. Reserve your energy. This is not the place to fight right now. And introspective Jay, you're saying age for what? I don't know what you're reacting to as age, but it's true. I don't know whether you're reacting to the Asian, the one who said his type is Asian and he has a white wife. And it's very common. It's very common when someone will be like, I like someone petite, but the person they're with is not petite. That's your first telltale sign. Like, what type of person does your person like? And the minute you see you don't fit what their type is, but they're still entertaining you, that means there's something you're giving them that they want. So you are convenient. You're a very good convenience for them at this time. So those are things to look out for. And matters of the heart are really heavy. I'm not saying them as if they're light, as if you'll see a red flag and be like, okay, bye. It's so difficult. It's so difficult when you like someone. Sometimes you've even invested some time, you've invested some money, you've genuinely been invested in this relationship. So for you to come to that realization, sometimes it's a bit hard. Regiachi, you're saying, I watched a story where a man was polygamous. The two wives became lovers and mwanaume akaachwa kwa mata. Treason. This is treason. Kudita. But this is, I would understand. I would understand if, yes, imagine you think you're polygamous and kumbe you married lesbians. They've said, makosa ni yangu. This is, kazi ni rahisi. Mbona nilikuwa najitafutia bibi when I can get a man to look for the wife for me? Introspective Jay, you're saying, the Asian white wife. Oh, that's what you are reacting to. If that's not a ticket to leave, and I don't know what is. That is true. Hey, we are polygamy. We are many bamba. Yeah, get together and let that man be. See, you wanted many women. Even me, I want women. Go look for another woman who's probably straight. The Don Mario saying, if you're live, it must be Monday. My week starts today now. Welcome back, girl. Thank you so much. Yesterday I was tired and that's why I couldn't come in, but I said we're going to do it today, and then from today we're going to catch up with our episodes as usual. But we are on episode 17. And usually my seasons end on episode 24. So we have just a couple of episodes before we close the season, but I have something new coming on. So yes, do not worry. Do not worry. But anyway, if you're just coming in, this is the In All Honesty podcast on our TBC radio show that comes to you every Monday morning from 7 to 9 a.m. on Instagram Live with yours truly, Olive Oral. Today it's happening on Tuesday because yesterday I wasn't able to come in, but we are also just doing a post-break check-in. Yes, post-break catch-up. And right now we are talking about marriage being a humiliation ritual, because we've seen the Maingis, the SDA couple that came on YouTube and really embarrassed themselves. And then there's also, this is not, I want to handle this matter with a lot of sensitivity for Koku and Daddie Marto, because it is also very recent. And as we can see, Koku was going through a lot yesterday. So I also want to handle it with a lot of sensitivity. But for Koku and Daddie Marto, this is a celebrity couple in Kenya. Daddie Marto is an actor. Koku is she a YouTuber? I know she cooks and she does like vlogs for cooking. And they're a celebrity couple. Currently, they are trend as we speak. Like, this is information. This is a story that broke out yesterday. Currently, as we are speaking, they either have broken up or the marriage has broken up, and this is due to Daddie Marto's infidelity. And then there's a lot more information now in there where Daddie Marto was cheating. He's cheating right in the vicinity of where the wife is. There's physical violence as well. So Daddie Marto has actually released a press statement. He's published it. He's not said much. He's just said a lot of kizungu, but that's what public relations is. Here inakwanga kizungu, you don't have to make sense. So we understand, and we're just waiting to see how this story also unravels as we wait. But I know right now Koku is looking to either, is she moving houses? Because I've seen people like putting money together. I think she's moving houses. She just like has to recollect from scratch. But yeah, so we're looking at those two things, as well as while I was away, my friend Lydia Wanjiru went back to the ex, and you guys had her on a platter. Kwani hamjaichukua ex back? Ebu ngojeni. Mbona mna judge na nyinyi si Mungu na hii si siku ya judgment? Let me know about exes. How bad is it to go back to an ex? Because I have my own thoughts. So Lydia Wanjiru is also a public figure in Kenya, and she broke up with this man. She was dating this man for a while. They became like, they caught eyes, because when someone in the public space they get someone, people are usually interested. So they became known as a couple. And then a little while later, Lydia came back and gave us bits and pieces here of how he was cheating. I think she stated also he would pick money from her purse, something of the sort. So there was, yes, but I think infidelity was the biggest issue, and so they had broken up. And come just last week, Lydia was going to Eldoret, not to Eldoret, sorry, Lydia was going to Kisumu for an event, and when she got there, that's where the ex-boyfriend used to stay. When she got there, they got together, and it seems like they've gotten back together, because after that, they went to Malindi, and they've just done like couple content from there on. They're back together, they're having a good time, and Lydia is not scared to actually give this update. So yes, Lydia went back to the ex, and you guys said, excuse me, Kidogo, this one we have to talk about. 247 Crochets, you're saying at Introspective J, and when it was the wife's turn to answer, the guy swooped in and answered for her by saying that he's her fetish. Okay. I'm her fetish, of course. Always has been, always will be. Oh, okay. So this was a street interview. Let me give you context for the people who've just joined. There was a street interview where someone was asked, what's your fetish? And they said, an Asian woman. When the woman who was right next to them, the girlfriend or the wife, was white. And then when the white woman is now asked, you, what's your fetish? The man didn't let her answer. He came in and answered that he himself is her fetish. So you saw the red flags, baby. You ignored the red flags. Zinakwaga, very bold, crimson, red as blood. But anyway, let me not judge, because matters of the heart are heavy. You know, it's very easy to stand here as a single person and point at people. You've done this. You've done this. You've done this. Mm-hmm. Are you sure? Are you sure if you were in the same shoes, you'd make the decisions that would serve you well? Introspective J, you're saying 247 Crochets where you are not my type, but I have to be your type kind of mess. Oh, yeah. And that's the other thing. I'm not sure you people don't take Otile Brown seriously. When he said, umpenda simpendi nampenda mwingine mpendanga, whatever that song says. But it's basically the one I like does not like me. I like someone else who likes someone else. So it's usually a chase. And when you hear people say, only date or be with people who like you, it's very important. It's very important that you're liked by the person you are with. They genuinely want you. They genuinely care for you. Yeah, I would say just date someone who likes you. Now, for Lydia Wanjiru, going back to the ex-boyfriend, Ebu, let me hear your thoughts on that before we get to the analysis. But also in this very episode, we were also to discuss justice for Albert Ojwang. So, Albert Ojwang is a young man. He was a teacher, and I think he had tweeted something. He had tweeted something on X. So right now, do we say someone tweeted on X, or do we say they X'd something on X? Like, are we still calling the posts on X tweets? I'm curious. But anyway, he was a teacher. He was an only child. He was also the father to a very young child, a child who's, I think, just months old. And so what happened is Albert Ojwang had made a post on X about something about just about the corruption scene. I guess in the police industry, he'd mentioned that. And then this man was come for by policemen in Homa Bay. If you don't know where Homa Bay is, it was literally a 7-hour drive to Nairobi. So this man was picked from his home in Homa Bay and brought to Nairobi. And the next day he was dead in a jail cell. And that is when his dad had followed them immediately. The dad had followed them, and he was like, he'd carried even the title deed to come and make sure that in case they need bail, he can use the title deed as collateral. What do you use? How do you say it? He can use the title deed as bail for the son. So he comes, he's told the son is dead in a police cell. You took him last night. It's barely 12 hours, right? It's only been 7 hours since we traveled here. I'm here in the morning, and you're telling me this man has died. Okay, fine. He's died in the jail cell. And then they claimed that it was suicide. And this is something that we've seen. Now, we've seen people making reference to the book Kifo Kisimani, which had the exact same scene, where someone who was calling out authority or who was calling out the ruling class for something was abducted. You can call it an abduction, because tell me why you've come all the way to arrest me and you've not even taken me to my local police station, because that's how it works. If you arrest me in Kikuyu, you take me to Kikuyu police station. You don't now safirisha me all the way to Thika. And I think that's one of the things that people were concerned about with Chira and Aziad's story. Do you remember Chira and Aziad's story? Yes, when Chira was arrested in Nakuru and then he was brought to Nairobi. So that's usually, I don't think it's lawful So that was the first problem. So you're brought 7 hours away, as if there are no police stations in between, right? 7 hours away, and then you've died mysteriously, and apparently you knocked your head on the wall and died. Jamani nyinyi hata kama me as a child, I fell from, was it second floor? I lost my teeth, and here I am. How do you tell me someone knocked their head on the wall and died? Anyway, we have come to find out that these were all lies. The autopsy results revealed that he had actually been tortured before he died. And then now there's new information that keeps coming up every other time. As we speak, the information we have is that he wasn't actually killed in the cell. Because there's also another policeman who came and claimed that not claimed, like there's a police, yes, who's in custody right now, who, when he made his statement, he said they beat him up in their cell and he was reported dead the next day. He had gone home. I'm like, mnadhani mnachorea watoto wa class 3 story nyinyi? Ni nini hello children mnaandika hapa mnadhani tutawaamini? But anyway, so yes, they claim he died in a jail cell, but the most recent update reveals that he actually was killed somewhere else. And then his body now brought to the mortuary. It was dropped at the mortuary, I think at 2 a.m. Some ridiculous shit was happening there. So these keep coming up as there's more information, more and more keeps coming up as time goes. And it just keeps discrediting the initial story that the police keep giving. Every time they give information, there's something happening. CCTV footages are lost. So you are able to track someone all the way to where they live without knowing them. Homa Bay. Do you know where Homa Bay? It's not even a major town. Si Kisumu, si Eldoret, si Mombasa. Homa Bay. Ukienda Homa Bay ukapata mtu. But somehow CCTVs were not working. Hiyo day to CCTV zimepotea. It's not adding up. But anyway, we know what this is, and that is something that we also want to discuss because it's some of the things that happened while we were away on a break. Now, I want to do some thoughts and analysis on all the things that we were talking about. Basically, marriage being a humiliation ritual, and also in the second hour we'll talk about now. I have a theory, and someone affirmed it on social media. So I wanted to hear his video, and then we discuss that as well. And this is in relation to Albert Ojwang as well. So my thoughts and analysis on this entire thing. So we have like 3 stories we're commenting on for relationships and marriage, right? Marriage, is it a humiliation ritual? That's what I was asking. Because we've seen the way he's looking out here. It's not cute. It's not cute. A bit try and make this union what it used to be. Because right now it's just embarrassment left, right, and center. And the other question I have is, could it have been that marriage had always been this, it was always dysfunctional, but we just never knew because our parents were of the generation for covering up. Maybe our mothers have suffered and they just covered up. Our fathers have gone through the most and they just covered up. Because also the number of children who do not belong to their fathers in their past, like that our parents' generation, is also wild. Is so wild. So I'm like, has marriage always been a scam and it was just sold to us as this beautiful thing and we just don't want to admit that? Hapa kidogo, let's look at it. But anyway, so we start with the Maingis. The Maingis are an SDA couple that came on social media. They have a YouTube channel, and I keep saying, if you came on here for just vibes and you are singing to SDA songs, especially as a couple, I would say especially as a couple, mambo ya YouTube wacha. Mambo ya kukaa mbele ya kamera nyinyi wawili sasa ati we are discussing how we met. Wacha, please. I'm asking you nicely. Wacha too, because the things you're about to embarrass yourself out here. But I also feel like maybe embarrassment pia, maybe si kila mtu anaiogopa. Maybe it's just us who have a problem with embarrassment. But other people are fine. So let's stop projecting. But anyway, the Maingis, now they had this video that went viral, and it was the man just basically I would say insulting the woman, and he was just like, you don't brush your teeth smells, I've not even been kissing you, your numbers were struggling before I joined this TikTok of yours. I said, and this you thought you couldn't say outside the cameras rolling. But anyway, for the Maingis, that's the first nini we had of marriage, at least what went viral at the time. And I think for me, there's a lot of loveless marriages, and I see so many of them. I swear to you, even your couple goals here online, you give me a picture right now, tell me their names, and I tell you if there's love in that marriage. So many of them. So I think the Maingis is just another loveless marriage. And here's the thing. Men don't fall in love like women. They're not at the, oh, there's this fairy tale. I'm so in love with him. Oh my goodness, I'm going to marry and we're going to live happily ever after. Men just be doing things for convenience. I beg. If we are supposed to be having children by 30, a man will just have a child by 30. It's not that, oh, this thing is the desire of my heart. Yeah. That's where there's an imbalance there. Why women marry and why men marry. And that's why I think there's a lot of loveless marriages. But then again, as someone who even props up arranged marriages, love is not the only ingredient. So usually I say, just make sure the person you're marrying at least likes you. They genuinely care for you. Like it's like a friend or like a family member. Ni mtu anakujali. Because we're also seeing a lot of loveless marriages where one partner hates the other partner, resents the other partner. Yani hupendwi kabisa. That's the problem. I'm not asking for love, because love, you can grow it. But I'm just saying, ile care and mutual respect, ile tu decency ya kupenda mtu ama being kind to someone just because they are human. Make sure you have at least someone who's like that. Introspective J, you're saying, hey, from my first-hand experience of a relative's marriage, maybe naona tu ni mates tu watu are normalized because the things I've observed. Yeah, people are housemates. People just had kids together, and so we move. See, this is how life is supposed to be. If I wanted a family, see, we have a family. But I see a lot of loveless marriages. I think the Maingis is another one, and not because of anything, only because men reluctantly fall into convenient spaces. So a man will not actively pursue you. Like, if you listen to the stories of this couple, the lady actively pursued the man. Na ukijipata ni wewe ulipasue huyo mwanaume, who unto you? As someone who doesn't even ascribe to gender roles. But kama you're the one who pursued that man, nangoja story tufanye podcast ingine tena moto sana. So I think we can start from there. It feels like the man just reluctantly found himself in the marriage. You see how sometimes you never really ask, you don't know answers to particular questions, but the way people usually laugh at it, I just woke up one day and I'm being called babe. Okay, fine, it's good, but I hope they like you. Usikwe kama huyu couple aliulizwa what's your fetish, akasema vitu zingine na kitu imesimama kando yake is completely different. That we see a lot. Someone will be like, my fetish is big girls. The girlfriend is tiny. Unajiuliza, jamani, huku ni wapi? So those are some of the things you have to observe and maybe you turn a blind eye, because maybe if time is running out, because as I've talked about before, sometimes marriage is about time. Maybe there's people who, I want to be married at 35. I want to have my first child at 36. I want to have my second child at 38. I want to close that chapter and start raising my kids. So if you're working with a particular structure, love is not a consideration, but at least make sure that that person, first of all, has normal human values, just kindness tu ya kawaida, just normal kindness, the one for ugombanishani na mawaita na security, just normal kindness. First, that should be their value, and then second, they should remotely like you, just like a friend would. They should care for you. Like if something happened to you, it would worry them, right? So I would think that's something to go by, but the Maingis are giving a loveless relationship. It's not the first one. I'm not surprised. And also, we also have to look at their role, because this is something that I've said a lot. Women need to start taking accountability for what role you played as the victim. And I'm not talking about what is it called? I'm not talking about violence. I'm not talking about violence and abuse. That one, we do not blame the victim ever. But we have to look in things, humiliation. When it comes to being humiliated, especially vitu kama YouTube nini, what was your role? Because the man might be disrespectful for having said those things to you, for having done the things he's done to you. But the fact that you've stayed, that tells him you can take it. That tells him this is something that we don't mind, we can get, right? So I think the idea of disrespect in itself is bad, but you yourself, you yourself staying also communicates something. Because there's someone I saw, there's this, what book is that? I don't even, it's one of these famous books, those books like 48 Laws of Power, one of these famous books. And someone said, in that book, they read that sometimes a man will put you where your mother is, like will think of you as their mother. So you might think it's a compliment, but if you look at it in real sense, it's you just nag him. Like men are used to the nagging. It's okay. You will cry, you will cause a tantrum, you will cause a scene, you will bash him, you do what, all those things. But at the end of the day, in his head, is like, Even mom used to beat me up. Even mom used to deny. She used to go da. But mom never left. You know, at the end of the day, she'll still come back. She'll still keep the home. She'll still cook the food. She'll still maintain the kids, you know. So that is something you have to be very keen about. So men reluctantly just stay in inconvenient relationships and they can switch off their brains. I don't know if women can, but men can switch off their brains. Usually you can start talking and at a switch off to say, najua this is now nagging o'clock. At a switch off to akuache hapo na ukiendelea kuongea. Ukimaliza kuongea, a switch back on, and then he comes back to the part that's convenient for him, whether it's a happy place, whether it's the part for now eating, or the part where you now forgive him and you go back to a good time and there's make-up sex. Men can switch their brains on and off. So when ukiekwa kwa category ya mother, tunakuombea. Wacha niseme tu tunakuombea. Because you're going through a lot of problems. And why I think she is an enabler of the treatment her husband is giving her. She stayed too long. She's also paid for things. Once you've been told, as much as we're not doing gender roles now, women have their own money. But the minute you hold a man down, we still haven't evolved to the place where a man will feel like, oh, this is someone who supported me. We still haven't evolved to that place. So right now, holding down a man or supporting him or doing big things like paying your own dowry grows his resentment for you. Unaanza kumbo. When someone takes up a role that was supposed to be yours, yes, they might be benefiting from it, but somehow it brings like feelings of jealousy and things like those. So at the end of the day, that's something I feel like she enabled the man to disrespect her like that. And you see, even after the video, now this is where it's interesting. Now you've shot the video, you've been humiliated. Paka, you walked out of set. She literally walked out because she was like, I'm not doing this. You're really trying to get to my nerves, right? And after she walked away, I'm like, was she part of the post-production? If she was part of the post-production, they edited that video and then she said, publish it, make it public. And then after making it public on YouTube, mkachukua snippets, mkakuja mkaeka wapi, TikTok, mkaeka sijui wapi for promotion. If she was part of the post-production and publishing, I beg, I don't know which side of the victim she is. Oh my Lord. I don't know which side of the victim she is because if she was part of the post-production, I can understand when you start rolling and things happen on camera, but the fact that they published that video tells me there's something also there because right now also people are doing a lot for content. Just to trend, I hope you're making money from your content because if you're just making traffic and there's no money coming in, at this point, I don't see the cost of embarrassment. I don't see what you are gaining from this embarrassment. Introspective J, you were saying, kwanza hapo pa men treating you like their mother, expecting you to take disrespect while serving him food. It's their mothers, their biggest enablers, right? Because you remember the story of Bumpy and Sophie. Nani mlikuwa mmekasirikia most? Silikuwa mama Bumpy. It's usually a woman enabling all these things. If it's not the mother, it's the wife or the sisters. So really be keen. And I also like to appeal also to women who have brothers or relatives. Call them out. Because there's also a level of enabling. There's also quite a sense of enabling by the perpetrator's family. Because you remember there's Njeri Wamigwi, that's her name, Njeri Wamigwi for Usikimie. When she was she on Ogaobina? She was on a show and she said, the biggest challenge even you face sometimes when you're going to court to seek justice for a particular case, you will find ule mtu ambaye alenajisi mtoto, familia yake imekuja in support of him na kumtetea. So you can imagine the enabling culture is so toxic. So at the end of the day, I know you are the victim. I know you're the one going through the most, but take a minute and ask yourself, what am I contributing to this situation as the victim? And I think we have an episode that has actually talked about that, where we were just discussing that. 247 Crochets, you're saying, did you see the guy? Did you guys see the shosh that was on Obina's interview saying that if your husband insults or does anything to you, you're supposed to thank him? Naomba mashosho sasa muende mlale. Just go to bed, because Alzheimer's is not looking cute on you at this point. That generation, honestly, I gave up. I genuinely gave up. If you ask me, you've always had me tell people, I gave up on the generation, older generations up to older millennials. Nilichoka now. What were 86, older millennials wanaisha, what sahi wako 40, wengine wako 43, I think. Older millennials, nilisema, hapo kuendelea juu, tuache. Let's just deal with the late millennials and Gen Z and hope to change something. The ones we are dealing with before, it's a problem. It's a disability of the brain, because I don't know. I genuinely do not know. And I understand that they were exposed to conditions that made them think like this. There's a lot of grooming and so many years of being in suffering or enslavement that you don't know any other reality. That I understand for them. But again, I'm not drowning with you. I'm not drowning with you in this your world where you believe things that don't even make sense. I thank you. I thank you for, hey, my Lord. This life knows why some of us are not married. Introspective J, you're saying, na kusema ukweli, some of these red flags, you see them while dating. But some turn a blind eye thinking they will change him, make him better, or that he will love you enough to change. Red flags huonekana wakati wa dating. Stop lying. And you know, I've also seen men who claim, oh, she's batshit crazy. Oh, she does this and that. Isn't that why you liked her? You liked how feisty she was, eh? Now you're the victim. You're the victim, eh? But the red flags are so easy to see when dating. I think we're so obsessed with finding love and being with someone that we choose to turn a blind eye to red flags, but they're usually there. I promise you. 247 Crochets, you're saying, Regiachi, it was funny because of how ridiculous she sounded. I beg. Hey. Anyway, what is nisicheke watu, huwezi jua what people are going through, and as you're here laughing, but red flags can be seen. Introspective J, you also say, the self-acclaimed gatekeepers of patriarchy. Me, I call my brother out all the fucking time. I jam too, but he knows. And that is so true, because even if you have an abusive relative or one who's behaving out of character, and they know you are the one who calls them out, they will never rely on you. And they know too well not even to bring their wife to you. Because me, I've had situations of people don't want me to hang out with their wives. I am bad influence on their wives. Keep your wife away. Because if they come and hang out with me, I beg. I don't understand why you are with this, my brother. Is this the best you could do? Shame on you. But yeah, we have to start calling out. The enabling of bad manners is enabled a lot of times by women. So you, as the partner, call yourself to some sense. Ask yourself, how am I contributing to this? And calling yourself to order is not an easy thing. You honestly have to admit to your own flaws. And that is something that a lot of people also don't want to do. But it is very important. Okay, now let's go to Koku and Daddie Marto. Now, Koku and Daddie Marto is something that I said I will handle with a lot of sensitivity. It is very fresh. We don't have all the details yet. There's still a little back and forth here. But I'm sending out so much love to Koku because, hey, let me tell you, no one deserves that. No one deserves humiliation. No one deserves the physical assault. No one deserves it. I don't care what you did. Sasa unapiga mtu juu. Ni nini hiyo alifanya? Usiaipiga mtu. Keep your hands to yourself. At all times, I'll tell people, keep your hands to yourself. So I'll do a further psychoanalysis for Koku and Daddie Marto on a separate social media video. So I'll just post it separately. At least it will be in depth. But right now, the updates we're seeing from Koku, at least yesterday, when they started coming in and she was just posting on socials, what we were seeing on her social media yesterday and the events that happened the day before that night, that is her crashing out. That's completely her crashing out. And Introspective J, you're saying, hey, the Daddie Marto one is sad. It is so sad. Like, guy, my heart is heavy. Now, Koku was crashing out. And usually that's the heat of the moment I was talking about in the beginning of the podcast. That crash out is usually an out of body. You can't, when you're angry, the minute that thing clicks in your head, something snaps. And all your actions at that point are not informed by any logic. Literally, it's not you in control of your body at that time. And that is why you see, even in the updates that Koku is sharing, she only can pick bits and pieces. She has like, oh, the neighbors came when they had the screaming. She was locked in the room. She can't tell you a direct account of everything, even what her herself was doing, because in that moment, you are so, everything is spiraling in your head. Like, you're not yourself. You're not okay. And anything you're doing isn't being done by your conscious self. So during a crash out, even you yourself you might not even remember some of the details because you were just, your body acted in its reflex. You didn't have anything under control. So the crash out was so sad. And I think the question everyone first asked is, where are her friends? At the moment when it was happening, it was so unexpected. It was so unexpected that you don't intend to again, during that crash out session, during that moment when it all happens, when it snaps, your mind doesn't go to, let me call someone to come and support me. Your reflex is to confront this and to understand and to try and make sense of what is happening. And in this moment, you're just reacting. You're not looking for sense. You're not looking for logic. The way your body is feeling is how you're acting in that moment. So I don't think that the friends could come in immediately at that time when it was happening, but also the next day when now the post started going up online, when she was now doing the update online. That one I am a bit split about. I do not recommend crashing out on social media in public. The public, and not because it's embarrassing to you. No. Only because the internet is not a safe space. Like, yes, there's a lot of people who show you love and all that, but the internet is not a safe space. And we have seen even people before, anything you do on the internet will be kept and will be used against you at a particular time, even at your most vulnerable. People don't have limits. So I don't think the internet is a good place to crash out on. But on the other side, why I'm conflicted is because also coming out to share the truth in the public is something the aggressor doesn't want, because aggressors also really thrive in anonymity when no one knows what they're doing. Yes, and you can see, I think she did a screenshot where Daddie Marto was texting her like, babe, come we talk, like, what are you doing? Stop doing that. And you see now, even the father-in-law has crashed out and come to her DMs at you're not even a respective mother. You have 3 glorious boys. The minute he said glorious boys, and Daddie Marto had just made a post about how he grew up without a dad. I said, doesn't it check out? Doesn't it check out? You've not been here all this while. You want to come and claim boys. You want to claim their men. You're embarrassing your family. Have you thought of your 3 glorious boys? I said, yo. So I understand how the aggressors usually do not like shame. Hapo kwa shame hawapendi. So I am conflicted because I don't like a crash out online. It's not a safe place. But at the end of the day, that information being in public, now the aggressor is put to embarrassment. And that's one thing that they're usually very scared of. The minute they see you'll go public with this, that's usually a problem. And I think even maybe that's where the physical came in the night of, when Daddie Marto realized she is calling attention. Now it will be known what he's done. That being caught pants down is something that the aggressors are usually very keen about. So they really thrive in anonymity. They thrive in secrecy. The fact that you're going to expose them, that usually really shakes them. People are very scared of the image they have out there than they are scared of anything. People would rather die than be smeared with that outside, than their image be smeared with that in the public. So that's why I'm conflicted about the crash out online. I feel like it's not a safe space for her, but at the end of the day, also the aggressor, we can see how they were so scared of shame, and that is her taking her power from him. Let me see. Introspective J, you're saying, the worst part is these split ups. The woman feels and expresses while the man plays the PR move, making her out to be reactive. Got it exactly. What I never understand is, where is the grace for the years we were one? That's the other thing. I see when things happen, like when there's cases of infidelity, this man has done something extremely disrespectful and all of that. I see a lot of us, let me just read Sims of Monifa, you are saying, it's really sad, honestly. Was like that too, but learned to keep shut. You used to come and share on social media. Okay, you used to come and share on social media. What do you mean by you was like that too? I'd like to understand that. But yeah, it is really sad. It is a very sad issue. And something that Introspective J has brought up is, can't you consider that, because I saw a lot of people saying this is the mother of your 3 children. You've been together for this long. This person has held you down. Here's the thing that I keep telling people, and I'll tell you about Ruto as well. You people try and appeal to the emotions of people who do not have emotions. So that, I'm the mother of your child. This person does not freaking care. If anything, maybe they even hate you. They resent you. You are utter trash to them. So this appeal that you're trying to make to emotions it's not going anywhere. And you see, this is why I'm telling you, sometimes with emotional intelligence, you learn to read. You learn to read that this person I'm dealing with, I will crash out, things will happen, but at the end of the day, I'm doing these things to a rock. it will not elicit a reaction. It will not elicit any emotions in them. The only thing that comes to their mind is, I need to protect my image. And that is why you see introspective Jay is saying, the man pulls the PR card while you're crashing out. And that's where they get you. Because now he looks calm. And you see now it's feeding into a narrative that both of them have played into, right? Now, Koku has talked about, oh, I wasn't perfect. I used to have my own moments. He found me at a moment when I was very crushed. That and Daddie Marto coming down to insinuate, because he's taking a very PR language, but he's also insinuating this girl is batshit crazy, right? So you see that checks out for both sides of the story. And that's problematic because, again, what introspective is saying, you crash out and you try and appeal to the emotional side of things, but this person is just playing chess. You are a pawn. It's just chess, my friend. You are a pawn on this board. And the game begins so early, and that is why we're saying clock it before it gets to this phase. The game begins so early because in the beginning stages, as we've said, the only mitigation you have is to not provide for a man. Do not hold a man down. I know we're in the 21st, I know we're in 2025. I know women now have their own money. I know women can keep their own homes. I know women can support their men, but have limits to it. The minute you're holding down a man, and especially when you've seen him in his most vulnerable spot, like the point where he couldn't provide for you, he had nothing coming in for himself. When you've seen a man at his lowest, he resents you. And sometimes it makes more sense to leave him at his lowest, and he will come back with more chest to claim you back, because at least you didn't experience him when he was completely downtrodden. And I know it's a difficult thing to process in your head, but genuinely it is just that. And I see a lot of us are now appealing to, oh, I'm the mother of your child, this person you've been with for all this long. They don't give a damn. They don't give a damn. It's the same thing with your political class. When I see you going to the streets and being like, oh, you're killing us, justice for Albert Ojwang, this person is a crocodile with a heart of ice. There's nothing you're saying they are feeling. In fact, maliza tu kuongea ni uwe mwingine. So you also need to realize that sometimes you are not at the same level. You're dealing from a point of pain and emotion. And the person you're trying to express this to is not on the same wavelength as you completely. So I know it's a very difficult perspective to have when you're within the mud of when you're also rolled up in the mud. It's so difficult to see it. But later on, as you sit down and you now look back in retrospect, you'll realize, oh, this man didn't feel anything. And also coming to terms with things like, and that is why I say when she had the crash out, she snapped. Coming to terms with things like, so everything I did for you, everything we did together, 3 children. Do you know how ridiculous 3 children is? Because people are talking outside here and they're talking 1 child we left, 1 child we broke up. 3 children later is where you're going to pull the most. And I've held you down before. So I understand her frustration. And also the other thing that might have really clicked for her and that elicited that reaction was, not only are you going to cheat, you're going to do it in my face, in the vicinity of where your children are, where there's some decency in I'm cheating, but I'm trying to cover up and I'm trying not to get caught. But I'm going to do it in your face. I think that's where it also something switched in her head, and she was like, two houses down from where I live, 2 houses down from where I live, where your children are sleeping at night. I think there's even a post where she said, and your children come to that house and they play on the couch and on the bed, and this is where you're doing the most. And I think I saw another story a while back of a woman, when the man now found out what she used to do, this woman had been even taking the child to her sexcapades. And it's that those little things that break. It's not even little things. It's those details that break you. It's just like, now they don't even care about getting caught. Now they don't even care about my reaction. They don't even care about the kids. And in that moment, I think that I think was the switch. That I think was what snapped in her in that moment. But of everything we've talked about, Koku and Daddie Marto, there's still information that's coming in. Not a lot is clear, but also we're just sending her so much love. And I hope she picks up the pieces. We've seen this before, and they've been able to pick up the pieces, because I think we remember, what's his name? The gym guy with Maureen White too. That was also messy. Oh, Frankie just gym it. He literally has the gym in his name. That was also quite messy. And Maureen has been able to pick herself up. It's extremely messy. And I also don't feel like it is fair that these people have to go through what they are going through in the public eye. I've said this, I think I said this about Aziad. I think I said this about like Rono. These are things that happen to humans normally. It's not like outside social media, these things are not happening. Outside social media, these things are happening. But can you imagine experiencing this with 100,000 others? Can you imagine your whole life is on a theater somewhere with a spotlight, and we are all watching, and we are judging, and we are giving opinions, and it's not a beautiful, it's not a cute sight for them. And I'm sending out so much love to Koku right now. We're going to see how this will unfold as well. And we just get it from there. But if you're just coming in, this is the In All Honesty podcast on our TBC radio show. It comes to you every Monday morning from 7 to 9 a.m. right here on Instagram Live with yours truly, Oliver. Today we were doing a post-break catch-up. I was on a break for a bit, and we've come back, and a lot of things have happened. So we've commented on the Maingis pro-embarrassment on TikTok. We've also commented on Koku and Daddie Marto. And we were asking, do you think marriage is a humiliation ritual? Because from the way it's looking, it's not cute at all. And also now I also want to put my thoughts on Lydia Wanjiru. Lydia Wanjiru is a very brilliant girl. And she's also very smart. And I don't think she does anything without thinking. But anyway, first things, now Lydia is a public figure who broke up with her boyfriend last year. Was it last year or beginning of this year? I don't remember. But yes, it was also due to cases of infidelity. Again, men and cheating. Don't you have sexual discipline? Honestly, me, I don't respect people who don't have sexual discipline. It doesn't matter who you are, man or woman. If you just cannot control yourself, I beg. Anyway, so Lydia Wanjiru broke up with this man over infidelity cases. But just the last week, she got back together. Now, there were things that happened before that where she claimed if I would take back someone who I had broken up with, if they probably bought me land, they brought me Sijui what car. So, one, I want us to understand that I used to think that infidelity is a cause for breakup. But right now, I've started seeing how maybe it might not be my initial reaction. I see how taking back someone who had cheated on you is something that can be done. It's something, so it's not completely out of this world. That Lydia Wanjiru took back this man is not completely out of this world. Now, so if this person actually met the demands that she had made to be taken back, then where's the problem? I don't see the problem. Also, the other thing I wanted to highlight for Lydia's story is you people don't understand how lonely it is to have gained popularity while you're single. When you start like creating content, especially for people coming into the content scene, if you are creating content or you want to be a content creator and you're looking to grow your numbers, you're looking to grow your influence, the minute you grow, that moment you go viral, or that moment now everyone knows you and you are single at that time, it's about to get 10 times lonely. It's about to be so difficult to date because now you don't know who wants you for proximity. You also don't know who just wants to. There's usually also the idea of someone just wanting to be around you just for the sake of it, or to test you, to experiment. What is it like to be with Oliver or to be with Lydia Wanjiru, right? So it is 10 times harder to date when you're in the public scene. And I can understand how lonely that scene might be. And for Lydia being in that space, dating while you're famous, I would call her famous. Dating while you're famous is hard. It is hard. And that's why you see the decisions that we're seeing. There's a time I think Rihanna was dating her dancer and people had things to say. And I was like, who else is she exposed to? Are you going to date just a random person in the public who you don't know if it's a stalker? You don't know what they want from you, you know? So being single and famous is a very difficult position. And I can understand Lydia being in that position, going back to something that's already familiar, going back to the devil that you already know. Because why, if you start looking for angels, do you know these angels you're looking for? Are you sure they're angels? So I can understand Lydia taking back her man for the fact that it's a devil. It's someone whose flaws I'm already aware of. I know what to look out for. So I can understand from that point of view. And if her terms were met, her terms for breakup were met, I mean, why not? And love isn't always lost. I know you can break up with someone for a particular reason, but they can come back and that relationship can work again. And where I'm hoping, because please don't get it mixed up. Please understand context, understand visually. Are we good? Am I still audible? I want to make sure before I continue. Yeah, so love isn't always lost. It is easy to forgive and come back and continue with this person, especially if it's things you think you can live with. Maybe Lydia feels like she can live with the flaws she already knows this man has, than starting over again. Now Lydia is she's doing whatever she can do. But here's the other thing. What if and this is the thing for Maingis as well, I commented. Where do we know where content starts, content ends? I don't know. Like, I feel like sometimes I don't know whether to tell whether it's content. Like, you see, for the Maingis, I said, yes, this girl was disrespected. Yes, she was humiliated. But do you want to tell me the video was edited and posted without her consent or her knowledge? So sometimes, what is this? Do we know if this is content? Do we know if this is content or it's just real life? So at the end of the day, also, if you're looking at people online, be keen to understand, is it just content? And as we are here, we are very invested. We are giving opinions, because for Lydia Wanjiru was crazy. The number of people who made commentaries on it, and I was just like, it's just taking back an ex, or maybe because she's in the spotlight, she's in the public scene. Is it because she's famous that is why she can't take back her ex? Isn't she human just like you? And a lot of you have actually taken back your exes, and we just don't know. Just because you're not in the spotlight. But anyway. Erika Kwamboka, you are saying yes. What are you saying yes? Let me see. There's a lot of conversation going on here. I want to read. Kasilav, hey, how are you doing? You're saying, let it be known nilitafuta live jana. Okay, I'm sorry now. I said it's going to be today because I was very tired. And I don't know if you're agreeing to the points I'm making about Lydia Wanjiru, where it's like, yes, you can. Even Erika Kwamboka, you're also agreeing. I don't know if you're agreeing to the same points, that you can take back a cheating person, and it's because it's already the devil you know. And also, 247 Crochets, you're saying, Atum Kasilav, then it has been known that you don't view her stories. Ukweli, really apologize for her stories. He changed dates bila kutag day ones. I said, I'm sorry now. I'm sorry. Hey, she finally followed you. Yes, how you doing? She finally followed you. You are saying, but telling your spouse her breath stinks on a public forum. Aye? Also asking her, wewe umeza? By the way, that guy, that video was loaded. The Maingis. Me, I hope this girl at least removes herself from the shackles of the church, because I know the clause, when you're in deep in religion as well, it can really hinder the decisions you make for yourself that really serve you, because there's a lot of external voices. So I'm hoping if she ever gets herself away from the church for a bit, not to leave church, just to step aside kidogo, ndio ajielewe mwenyewe, she makes decisions that serve her and not so much other people, then yes. Because, hey, embarrassment pro max. Hey, iPhone could never. Erika Kwamboka, you are saying you asked whatever you are, or you asked whether you are audible. Oh, okay, I am. I still am. At least most things are charged. Thank you so much. Thank you for confirming. Mkasila, me, I don't agree. What don't you agree with? Taking back an enemy that you already know? Because something that I already said is, it's very difficult to date while in the public scene. Like, you're a public figure, and you got to that place while single. Dating is such a nightmare. I mean, I can tell you, I think the most good interactions I've had in terms of romance talking stage have been with people who don't know me. And a lot of times it's been with people outside the country who don't know me. So it's easier to just have a conversation, and it's not, post. I beg. I'm not a content creator throughout. I'm also just a girl. Oh, you're saying taking back a devil. I know. Okay. Yes, it makes sense. It does make sense, Mkasilav. I understand. For others, no. For Lydia, I would understand if that's the reason. But all of this is actually speculative. I don't know her reasons. We also do not know whether it's content. Hapo pia agree. We also do not know whether it's content. But this is the In All Honesty podcast on our TBC radio show that comes to you every Monday morning from 7 to 9 a.m. right here on Instagram Live. And today we were doing a post-break checkup. And one of the things that we were talking about was, is marriage a humiliation ritual? We've looked at the Maingis story, we've looked at Koku and Daddie Marto, and we've also looked at Lydia Wanjiru taking back the ex, and we've discussed all of that, but also we've talked about Albert Ojwang's death, justice for Albert Ojwang, and now that the lights zimepotea jamani, surely. I wanted to play something for our second hour so that we just see, whether you agree with the conspiracy theories that I've been seeing online and I agree with. But she finally followed you. You are saying her stepping aside from the church would be difficult because they got famous for their SDA content in the first place. They're now losing the plot. They need to recalibrate and vet their content. That's what I said. I said, sometimes online traffic gets to your head. Because if you just started singing SDA songs, at what point did you decide, let's now sit down and make a YouTube channel? And this is something I've said about celebrities as well. Just because you're famous, now you want to start a podcast, you want to write a book, I beg rest. You're good for that thing that you are good at. Na itoshe, tutakukumbuka hivyo, usijali. You don't also now have to try and maximize on everything. But I understand stepping away from the church is a tall order. A tall order. I am not even expecting it. I'm not even hopeful. But that would be my prayer for her. That would really be my prayer for her. Because I also don't see how she's going to even break away from this man or even think of breaking away from this man if she's still in the church. Because there's also the stigma of divorce. There's the stigma of you are the woman who couldn't make your marriage work. You had the most perfect thing. And right now there are couple goals. There are really couple goals in the church. So if you don't hold down that image again, it's going to be so difficult. I don't expect it of her, but I hope. I hope. I'm just hoping. Auma, you were saying she finally followed you. I agree on this. That's true. It is true. We don't know if she will leave. We can only hope. We can only hope. Now, when we were talking about justice for Albert Ojwang, that's the last thing we are going to talk about, and then we just go back to, and then we close. We finish the episode. I'm going to put this episode, all of it, on stream, so that you don't have to buy this episode. And then from next week, we'll go back to our usual agenda or how we were doing it. But something we've talked about with Albert Ojwang's death, it is, when I saw it, I was like, yes, another youth dies. But also I felt like a message was being sent. There was a message there that was being sent. And it is so sad. It is so sad. And now I don't even know. Let me start with, I'll give you the lowdown of the video that I wanted to play. So this, I think he's a political analyst. I think he just does commentaries on the things that are happening currently. She finally followed you, anasema, hawezi mwacha, alijilipia dawari. Hey, hujui huruma. Ni estate na hata hujui kwenye iko, alijilipia dawari amongst other things. Because unasikia, hata alikuwa anaambiwa, your Nini was struggling. What is it called? Your videos were struggling before I joined you. I'm the one who made you blow up. I said, madimpos. Madimpos. See, munatambariza it out. Anyway, when we were talking about justice for Albert Ojwang, this is someone who has died in the hands of authority in Kenya. And people have been out in the streets. People have really been like, guys, we need to call to order whatever we are seeing in our country. And you see the last episode we had last time, just before the break, we were talking about all these things. Are Kenyans angry enough? Do Kenyans have the spirit of martyrdom? Are we ready to go and take what is ours and take back space and claim what is ours? So all that is happening. But let me give you the long shot of the person who did this commentary. It was a 7-minute commentary, so it would have been really beautiful if I could play it. Let me see.
So it is not because it was an accident that Ojwang was picked or chosen to be the sacrificial lamb. It was very well thought out. I've stopped thinking about Ruto as just someone who is doing everything wrong, and it is happening because he's powerless or is not in a position to control everything. Ruto is in a position of control, power, and everything that is happening, it is well calculated and meant to serve a certain narrative. For starters, we're in June. when the budget is about to be read, we know what happened in June last year. And if your mind is not too far off forgetting, we had the cost of living riot that happened in 2023. People died. In 2024, people died. And when I say people, I mean the Gen Z died. All right? Now, Ruto has brought in Raila Odinga into the broad-based government. He has brought in his people and he's feeding them very well. And they're all saying it is time to eat. The last person who was to be brought in was Orengo after Anyang' Nyong'o issued a letter. Anyang' Nyong'o was at State House. Now, the president wanted to test whether the Luo Nyanza is in his pocket and whether he has actually domineered and dominated and completely made Raila to submit to him. In other words, he wanted to test whether he has subdued Raila Odinga and the Nyanza region. He wanted to know whether the Luos will rise up during the death of the chosen sacrificial lamb. And by so doing, he was testing waters to see if Luos are with him and if even a Luo is killed, whether they will rise up. And he made it very clear that the person responsible for the death of Ojwang, it was going to be someone from his community. All right? And he wanted to know whether Kisumu riot. Unfortunately, only one gentleman rioted in Kisumu, and that is Ayam Chege, who is called James. He calls himself Ayam Chege on X. He's very vocal. He was in Kisumu demonstrating alone. The Kisumu we know, which has been at the forefront for generations in where matters governance and human rights is concerned, is silent up to now. Nakuru is responding always when one of them is taken or hurt. This is the second time they are rioting in their streets. We saw riots in Embu, and you've seen riots in Nairobi. But Kisumu, apparently, it's silent. So was Albert Ojwang's choice an accident or random or well planned and well executed? I want to go with a letter. It was well executed. He was taken illegally from his family in a matter that is civil, not criminal. And his father was told, come to Nairobi and come back with the body. I think the father did not take much out of those discussions that those askaris said, but they were on a mission. They knew what they wanted to do. They had planned this to the smallest detail. And this is not about DIG, my people. This is not about an innocent young man being killed and dying in a police station. The government wanted you to know that they can take someone from Kisumu, bring him, or rather from Nyanza, and bring him to Nairobi without court authorization for intercounty exchange or transfer. And they kill him and put him in the cell, register that he has come into the cell sick, and make sure that you know without a doubt that the police killed one of us. And see what's the worst you can do. And remember, this is before the budget. So he was looking for all of us to rise up, go to the streets. Or he was expecting that we will not rise up, we will not go to the street, and will do nothing. And that will show him that he has indeed subdued Kenyans by the killings that have happened in the past and the abductions. So he wanted to test the theory, whether abductions of last year worked. And it scared the Gen Z to go to the streets. And indeed, he has proven that that was right. He also wanted to know how you will respond during the budget. And he now knows that the budget will be read, I think tomorrow. It will be passed, and Kenyans will do nothing. Because Ojwang was a sacrificial lamb to test the willingness and the commitment and the attitude and the mindset of Kenyans during these times. And remember, they did it knowing well that there's an anniversary coming of the deaths of Kenyans who died during the Gen Z demonstrations. So that is it. It wasn't an accident. Ojwang's death was well planned. Ojwang's death was to test the waters. Whether Nyanza will rise up against Ruto. Or number two, whether the Gen Z spirit has been crushed. And number three, whether the budget reading will bring any chaos in this country. And all the theories are proved that indeed Ruto has Nyanza, Ruto has subdued the Gen Zs and the Kenyan spirit. They can't demonstrate, they can't do nothing. And it has shown, number three, that the budget will be read and there'll be no uprising like in 2024. Now, he has the entire country on his grips. And that, my people, is my hypothesis. I hope I'm wrong.
Man said he hopes he's wrong. I hope so too. I hope, but I don't think he is. Emma George, you're saying, hadn't thought about it this way. But does it make sense now? Anyone who's had it, does it make sense? That's the analysis I was talking about. And it's not even so much that he's subdued Raila and Nyanza region. Because again, how is it that there were no demonstrations in Nyanza at all? That's crazy. Or do you also think Nyanza is tired? They've been the ones fighting all their lives. Ukisikia tu maandamano unajua imeanzia Nyanza. Or maybe they're tired. I don't know. But I felt I had his analysis and I thought to myself, nothing has ever sounded so accurate in my life. Regiachi, you're saying, it's so sad playing Russian roulette with people's lives. The way he said, this was just a sacrificial lamb. It's an experiment. I think that I saw someone in the comments. Ati mnatumia mtoto wa mtu kama experiments. Hey. Bossy Noah says, I hate the feeling of helplessness. Damn. Yes. It's just... Hey. Yeah. Do you think he's subdued? Do you think he's subdued the entire country? There's nothing much we can do. We just like wait it out. And also, I would think that we'd go to the ballot in 2027. But the way people are looking, the way people are behaving, I don't know. Emma George, you're saying makes sense 100%. Ruto is a strategist, as a chess player. Yes. The man might not look like it, but every move is calculated. Ruto does not do anything that's not calculated. And I think the only time I felt Ruto came close to having been caught off guard or didn't know his next move was last year during the Maandamano, during the round table, when now he was called by Akina Lena Skaikai to come and answer questions. It's only that time that I looked at it and I was like, oh wait, for the first time this man has been caught flat-footed. And it's only because he believed so much in tyranny that he never thought in his life. I think even when the pressure started building up, oh, we're going to the streets, to him he just thought it's another handful of people. Every other time there's usually a handful of people protesting. He did not think that the entire country would be out in the streets, that the streets would not have space to walk in, and it's just humans in the street. I think that really caught him off guard, but that's the first time I saw him ever caught off guard, and I don't think there's any other time. This was a clear message, and I feel like it was a message because even extrajudicial killings used to happen within a particular class, right? Someone had to be linked to something in the political scene for them to have been killed extrajudicially, right? So for us to see someone as regular as me being taken from their home and the next day they are no more and they've been tortured actually before their death, that was a clear message to Gen Z. This is what will happen to you. You think the abductions were something to go by? My friend, Ngoja, I have something for you. Anyway, everything about Albert Ojwang's death feels very calculated, very scripted. I don't know where we are heading with this. I don't know whether it will go to sleep now that the dad has received some money. And I was just like, what is 2 million shillings when you are coming to the police station with your title deed? How much is your piece of land? 2 million shillings tukishatoa pesa ya matanga. Unabaki na how much? Now, how long will it even sustain you? I get it. And you've lost your only child. There's a child somewhere who is barely months. Na yeye pia atagrow. Asikie story ya baba yake, the way it was so tragic. The idea of life is so fickle, and just because we are all pawns is so sad. It is honestly so sad. But those are my thoughts on justice for Albert Ojwang. We are still heading out to the streets on the 25th. This is for 25th was to honor the people we have lost in the fight. So yeah, justice for Albert Ojwang. Do everything you must. As we said in the previous episode, whatever you do, do it. Do it if you are informing people, if you are decoding law for people, if you're okay. KPLC is back. I don't know whether it will take a minute to switch back to the Wi-Fi. Oh yeah, whatever you are doing, do it. It serves the cause. It serves the cause, whether you are helping people understand the finance bill, whether you are teaching people something, whether you're providing support, like psycho support, or genuinely just showing up. Because on the day of the Mandamano, it was so beautiful that some people were coming with water, some people were coming with Manila papers, some people were with glucose, and it was just like, guys, take, like we're looking out for each other. So whatever it is you're going to do, even on social media, with whatever capacity you have, whether you're going to engage in conversations, whether you're going to give your opinion, whether you are teaching people something, civic education, all of that, whatever it is you understand, whatever it is sparks a conversation, make that tweet, let it go, like, whatever you have to do it. It serves the cause one way or the other. And I guess we'll thank you for it. But then again, even last episode, we asked, are you ready to die for your country? Because the price it will take is more lives. There is going to be so much more bloodshed before you get what you want as Kenyans. And are we ready to sacrifice that much? And if we sacrifice lives, I think even right now, one life is one too many. And even right now, the lives that we've already lost in the pursuit of taking back our country and it being for the people, even right now, I feel like we owe it to them. We owe it to them to fight. We owe it to them to try and get our country back from the wolves. So if you're going to lose lives, if you're going to make the sacrifice, at least make sure you get what you want. At least make sure that we reclaim our country back, that the power is with the youth, that we are empowered again, that joblessness is not a norm, that being treated like a second-class human is not a norm. So at the end of the day, just work through it and do whatever you can do in your own capacity. And as I said, this episode was very key to showing you, to just helping you understand also basically the need for a service that I offer, which is the emotional intelligence coaching. Now, I've said if you are interested in the emotional intelligence coaching, you can book a discovery call. It's free. It's around 15 minutes where we just get to analyze your situation and see if it's something viable for a coaching session or a coaching period. And then we get to it. And basically, this is just you understanding your emotions, understanding how to navigate and regulate your emotions. And also, a lot of times, the biggest thing about emotional intelligence is being able to understand your aggressor's intention. Like you see the way you were saying, Koku is trying to appeal to Daddie Marto's side of, oh, I'm the mother of your child. Oh, after all we've been through. And it's the same thing with our political class. While we try to appeal to Kasongo, we're like, we are the children of this land. We toil. We are the youth. We are frustrated. There's no point you're making to someone who doesn't care, someone who doesn't feel anything, someone who doesn't even have a heart, someone who nothing. So being able to understand your aggressor's intent. Do they want to trigger you? Do they want you to despair? Like, I feel like Kasongo wants us to despair. Sending out these messages for fear, whether it's the abductions, whether it's the killings, the threats, all of that is, you need to understand what your aggressor intends to do. And once you understand that, then you know how to approach. Because approaching blindly only puts you in harm's way, right? So yes, those are things we get to analyze through and through. I've said for Koku and Daddie Marto, I'll do an in-depth analysis, psychoanalysis on a separate social media post, and we'll get to interact with it a bit later on. Anyways, I will put up this episode. Doliat, nataka kusema good morning, lakini aibu. Shame on you. Shame. But anyway, this episode is on streaming, so it won't have parts for buying and parts for streaming. The entire episode will be up for streaming tomorrow. So you'll catch it wherever it is that you watch your podcasts, whether it's on YouTube, on Spotify, AfriPods, Amazon Music, Castbox. You can be able to get the podcast. This has been the Inol. Oh, sorry. There were things I also found here. There's someone in the comments for this video, the video I just played. There's someone in the comments who said, what if it was about diverting our attention from the main agenda, IEBC? You know, we also have IEBC, and that will affect whatever we are doing in 2027. My friend, ama sijui tutengeze departments Kenya. Tuseme wewe ni wa finance bill, wewe ni wa IBC check huko, wewe tunakuwa sign huko kwa abductions, cause too much. Hey. But anyway, and then someone else said, I think it's Gachagua. I laughed at first, and then I thought, wait a minute. But then again, I feel like the forces that moved around Albert's death, they were too huge. They were too big to be Gachagua. I don't think Gachagua has access to that type of machinery. And I know Gachagua is very smart, extremely smart, and I don't think he'd attack now. I feel like he's plotting, and his plot is not to attack right now. But anyway, we'll get into a whole thing. This has been the In All Honesty podcast on our TBC radio show, coming to you every Monday morning from 7 to 9 a.m. with me, yours truly, Oliver Rao. Now, we'll catch you next week, now on Monday, not Tuesday anymore, on Monday, and we'll go back to our usual format, but you'll get this episode wherever it is that you want to get it, whether you stream your podcast on Spotify, Amazon Music, Castbox, AfriPods. Yes, you can be able to get this episode and just indulge. I think it was a really good episode. I'm going to do Daddie Marto and Koku psychoanalysis a little later on social media. I hope you catch it. And also, if you want to book a discovery call, please DM me today. Just DM me so I can book you for a discovery call for emotional intelligence. We just basically get to talk for about 10-15 minutes. We get a feel of it. We see if emotional intelligence coaching is something that you feel you want, or are you in a particular situation or dilemma that you could use emotional intelligence coaching for. And I've said basically it just helps you walk through particular situations in your life. It's like a third eye. You know, when vile ukiwatch football, when unajuanga moves zote. Mbona sasa ameenda huko? When you're an external person from the situation, it's very easy for you to see things clearly. And so I just help you walk through that journey. And some few messages have just come in while I was closing. Bossy Noah, you're saying, I have more reasons to get angry on a random Tuesday. All this is being thrown at us. Mambo ni mengi. I need an extra hour to process. I think 24 hours is not enough for a day. 24 hours is not enough. Ay, Germany, there is so much to process. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news on a Tuesday morning, but there's so much to process. Also, watch out for this episode. I will try my best, because I'm not editing it today. I will try my best to upload it today so that you can start streaming it in case you've missed it. And 247 Crochets, you're saying, but honestly, Gachagua coming out now as the good guy. So diabolical. By the way, don't forget that unajua Kenya mnakuanga na memory lapse. Gachagua is also not an angel. But niko sure he was kicked out na mnakuanga na shida na inaitwa nini? Trauma bonding. Kama kuna watu wanapenda trauma bonding ni nyinyi wa Kenya. I'm sure Gachagua will have a following. 2027 will be wild. But don't forget, he was not an angel. He's given us the best memes ever, but he's not an angel. Anyway, until next Monday, thank you so much for joining. Had such a beautiful time. Thank you so much for contributing to the discussion, and catch the episodes where you catch your podcasts. And until next Monday, my fabulous name is Oliver Rao. For now, bye. Oh, stima imerudi. Niwacheze mziki nilipata. Ina sound kama SDA, but si SDA. This is called Beauty by King's Return. Some 4 men who do a cappella music. Just beautiful, beautiful. But have yourselves a lovely, lovely time, my loves. Tupatane next Monday.
There's still beauty in the world. There's still beauty in the world. After all I've seen, there's still beauty. I'm not ignoring the darker days. Greener grass won't always follow the rain, but love is like a waterfall. Someone leads and down we go. It's not hopeless when I notice all the beauty in the world. There's still beauty in the world. After all I've seen, there's still beauty all around. When we stop and slow it down, there will always be so much beauty.